2 minutes ago, Twitter met its diversity goals but still has work to do. Okay. And so you could go to that article and read about diversity goals on Twitter. The company looks to diversify even further in the year ahead. And that's sort of interesting because Twitter is a huge sort of thing. So I could retweet that. Go back to Twitter. The retweet it looks like a little circle. And it says retweet when you put this little arrow on it with a little hand. By the way, if you like something, you can heart it. You can also do more. You can share it in direct message, copy it, embed it, and do all these different stuff. You can block them. And there's also a lot of privacy settings that you can do if you want to make sure you are, only let certain people follow you. You certainly can do that under your settings. You can sort of figure out exactly how to do that. And then, of course, you can, reply if you wanted to reply to this. But I'm just going to retweet it. And I'm just going to say, this is interesting. But then I'm going to use the hashtag for our particular class, which is hashtag, which is looks like a little number sign, CC for Columbia College, CMC for Computer Mediated Communication, and 17 for the year. And I have tweeted, and it's up. And if I want to see what other folks have tweeted using this hashtag, I can actually either search for the hashtag up here where it says search Twitter, or I can just click the hashtag, and so I see everybody who's done stuff. I do the top or the latest, so I've just done this. Looks like I put something from the New York Times up about fake news. I thought was really, really interesting. One person has liked this. Wanda, who is a pro at Twitter now, put some inspirational quotes up. It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. I like that. How appropriate is applicable in this day and age? And actually it is. I mean, that's netiquette, right? Because what happens when, what's it called, when people send really nasty messages? It's called sending a flame, because people are disembodied and not physically present. They feel like they can send mean stuff to people, and that's not right. Bobby Ann. Do you go by Bobby Ann? Google before you tweet, and the new think before you speak. That's awesome. I love that. I'm going to retweet that. I'm going to retweet that and put the hashtag CCCMC17. That's cool. And then Helen Taylor is also a big pro at Twitter. She tweets like crazy. She tweets like she runs very quickly. So there's lots of stuff. Ellie's here. So a lot of you have already done some stuff. Oh, Wanda, I love that stuff that you put up about don't forget your netiquette. So, hopefully you're experimenting with this. But again, I'm asking you to post something per week, one per week, that has something to do with computer-mediated communication or response to computer-mediated communication and what you read and everything like that. So that's Twitter. So you got the forum, first forum that you could be responding to. You got the tweets that you can be doing. And by the way, you don't necessarily have to do just one tweet per week. You can go crazy. Get crazy. Get Twitter crazy. Okay, and then going back here, there is one more thing that you can be working on, another sort of weekly thing I'm going to be having you do. And I know some of this is a little bit redundant from the very first thing that I discussed, but generally, there are 3 things that you're going to be doing per week, depending on the situation. A tweet, a thread / form responding to my prompt and responding to one other person's response. And then 3, a professional email to me telling me in that email what you think is perhaps the most significant thing that you learned in class that particular week. So, I can go back here. If you have not read the supplemental stuff, gosh, I'm not a pro at this. I just got my iPad. I'm just doing my best. I have here, under syllabus and assignments, some extra fun reading on emails and a little grading matrix. If you have not read this extra fun reading on emails, I would highly encourage you to do so. And at this point, it's probably the only thing you can read, because you don't have your damn book. But in here, there's lots of different things that it says about guidelines for preparing email messages. Send to single or multiple addresses, obviously. So you're going to be sending this to me. Provide a useful subject line. It's amazing how many people don't put subject lines. Put subject lines. It could be, weekly CMC email, or what I learned this week in CMC. It's up to you. Then it talks about restate the subject and the body of the message. So it could say something like, Dear Munsell, Dear Dr. Munsell. I don't care. Some people just call me Munsell, but this is professional stuff. So, Dear Dr. Munsell, this email is to inform you about the most significant takeaway from this week's CMC online lectures, or whatever. Focus on a single topic directed toward the receiver, so I've already sort of assigned that, but you don't want to give me like multiple things in one email. You don't want to write long emails. Folks aren't going to read them. Make them short and sweet. Sequence your ideas based on anticipated reader reaction. And one thing that I would like is, here's what I've learned, and maybe here's how I'm going to apply it. Make careful use of jargon and technical words and shortened terms. You certainly can use that. I mean, in this class, obviously, CMC is jargon, but you can use that. Also, SNS, which stands for social networking sites. You can use that. FTF, what does that mean? Face-to-face. So you certainly can use that. And then it has some more email advantages. It talks about using graphic highlighting to add emphasis. If you want to add a picture or a graphic, I don't know. One thing that I don't do very well, but and a lot of people don't do very well, revise your email before sending. It's like a little mini essay. Proofread the damn thing. And use spell check, and just make sure it's not crazy. And then there's just some really interesting things about effective use of emails. Check mail promptly. You should be doing that at least once a day, at least once an hour, at least once a minute. Do not contribute to email overload. There's a lot of people send way too many emails. Find that happy balance. I like this. It has a really good example of a good email message. Provides a subject line, so I'll let you take a look at that. Lots of little things in here. Use email selectively. Obviously, you don't need an email for everything. If you have some sort of big, long, complicated thing, maybe you need a face-to-face meeting. Or if you need to talk to somebody down the hall, why don't you walk your little behind over to their office and talk? This is when they talk about flames. Do not send messages when you are angry. Exercise caution about email viruses and hoaxes. Some people still open that stuff up. If they're asking for all your information, like your social security, don't even open that stuff up. All right. So, and has some other things in here, but please read that. So what I'm asking you to do, again, going back to the syllabus here, every week, on Fridays though, because I want you to do these on Fridays. I don't know why, I'm just sort of dividing these things up. So every Friday by midnight, which means probably when I get up in the morning, Saturday morning, I want an email from each of you with some sort of subject line about what I learned in class this week. Everybody should start, Dear Dr. Munsell. Then, I learned several important things in class this week. For instance, I learned that blah, 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 blah. I'm going to use this knowledge in my everyday life by doing blah, 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 blah. Thank you for your time. Sincerely, your name. And don't put your name. Put your name. Does that make sense? That's like those movies, like, I state your name, and everybody goes, I state my name. All right. But in any case, okay. Hopefully this gives you a better sense of what I'm wanting you to do pretty much weekly. I'm going to be back a little bit later on in order to say a few more things about Chapter 1 that you have not seen yet, unless you're Chrissy. And I will just let you know when the book comes in. But the stuff that I will talk about later on when I get home tonight, is going to be some really interesting things about how some communication scholars see the various functions of social networking sites, aka computer-mediated communication. They're basically the same thing, depending on how you look at all this stuff. Take care, have a great afternoon, and I'll be back later.